The Bazaar is a game where you collect an assortment of items to build a combo to defeat your opponent before they can defeat you. But I don't want to do that because I'm a pacifist. In the Bazaar, there is a way to win a fight without directly hurting your opponent, and it's the Sandstorm. This, after a certain amount of time, will appear and then start doing increasingly more damage to both players. And eventually, it will get to a point where one player will die from it. And if I can just survive this and survive my opponent, then I can win some matches. The Bazaar also has a variety of characters that each come with their own items and synergies. So my first question is, who will I be winning these matches with? I decided to try Pigma this one because they focus on a more defensive and money based strategy. And since I'm going for defense, I thought that would work well. I got started with a healing pet. I then acquired a weapon that would also provide healing, but no weapons allowed. So I go ahead and sell it. And then I pick my encounter. Throughout a day, you'll get encounters that can give you item or skills for free, or a shop that will sell you them. But in the middle of the day, you will get a PvE encounter where you can acquire one of the skills or items that the enemy that you fought would have. And they have three different difficulties. For this one, I go for the middle one. I only had one healing item while the enemy had a healing and shield item, and shields block sandstorm damage before it hits your health. So I was a little worried, but luckily I had more max health, which allowed me to survive and win this encounter.
Magic Man make many banana boats.
And for winning the fight, I get the enemy's skill. My next encounter is a shop, and this shop specializes in selling non weapon items, which is perfect for what I'm going for. I get three items from the shop. One is a healing item that increases my max health for the amount it heals. Another is an item that gives me healing and shield. And then the third item is a shield item that works really well with upgrades because whatever its shield amount is, it will give me double that. Every encounter gives you XP. The PvE encounters are an exception though because based off of the difficulty you fight, you could get a little bit extra. But getting XP is important because it allows you to level up. And in the first few level ups, it increases the board space I have for my items, but also leveling up gives skills or items to help with your run going forward. I decide to take a skill that gives me extra shield on all of my shield items, and that it's going to end up working really well with what I have so far. In my last encounter, I get an item I can't use because it's a burn item, and burn does damage. Not quite my style. So I head on to my first PvP fight, and let's see how this goes. My enemy had some consistent and scaling damage, but my healing and shield allows me to barely survive,
Defeat does
and
not
that is my
defeat
first
me.
round one. In my first shop on the second day, I find what I would call an investment item. It's an item where if you meet certain requirements on it, you can upgrade that item in different ways. For this item, it has different requirements for selling items of different rarities to give it more shield, more cast, more speed. And I buy it and see if I can maybe get it working. For my next encounter, I get a haste item, which I see potential in because it makes items go twice as fast, but I don't know if I should use it just yet, so I pick it up but don't put it on my board. I haven't showcased the new item I got on the left, which is Showcase. What's important about this item is that it's going to start giving me scaling similar to the damage scaling that my opponents will have, where throughout the fight they'll get stronger and stronger. So I'm going to need stronger healing and stronger defenses, and this is going to help with that defenses part. Even though I felt like I got a big upgrade, I wasn't feeling fully confident, so I only did the easy difficulty. Once I got into the fight, I realized there was actually nothing to worry about because my build was firing on full cylinders currently. The pet I have has multicast for each property I have, and since the showcase is a property, this means that it went twice. And my shield that gets double shield was also greatly enhanced by this showcase, which kept increasing how much it was providing. Next, I get a shop, which gives me a cash register, which will create spare change for me to
On
sell for
behalf
my
of the
investment
Grand
item,
Society of
as
blah
well
blah
as giving me a little
blah.
extra money every single day. I then level up, which gives me more room to add items, including the cloak I mentioned earlier, with a low cooldown item to go along with it. Now it's time to see how this will perform in the next PvP fight. My opponent has healing, shielding, and a weapon that scales as the fight goes on, but my more focused approach is able to give me the win and moves me on to the next day. Now on day 3, I take another easy encounter, and it is easy for me to survive. That's probably why they call it eat. I get an upgrade to my max heal, which raises the max I can heal and raises the max you can heal, so you can max out your heal. I then get an upgrade scroll, which allows me to pick which item I want to upgrade, and I choose to upgrade the showcase. I get a shop that gives me a scaling regeneration item that also has charge. Unlike haste, which just increases how fast the cooldown goes
I'm
down,
almost sure
charge
that was a
actually
good
skips
trade.
that amount of time for the cooldown. And so if I can get that to go off a lot, that'll help a lot. As well, since this item is a property, it actually gives my pet multicast 3 instead of multicast 2. I make a few more changes to my board before my third PvP fight, moving my multicast item beside the cloak that'll haste it. The fight once again goes well. The enemy wasn't able to break through my shield, and my pet was hasted so much that I was constantly getting healing even if they did.
Bring her about!
At the start of day 4, I get another scaling item which increases my healing and shielding of the items adjacent to it, so I change things around one more time. I'm feeling a little bit more confident, so I go for the medium PvE fight this time, and I beat it. This makes me feel a little bit more secure going into the rest of this run. I then got a shop with some skills which had nothing I wanted, and then I leveled up and got more skills that I didn't want. So then I re-rolled and got more skills that I didn't want. And I just ended up taking one that would give me a loot item, which bare minimum is something to sell. I find another scaling item which is similar to the one I had before, except it doesn't need adjacent items, and it has multicast similar to my pet, so I end up swapping it out and adding that instead. It's time for the next fight, and my build is building up to being built to win. Yeah. And it is. Once again, I'm able to get the win, and my healing and shielding is starting to look really good, I think. Now that I'm at 4 wins, I reached the first milestone that the Bazaar has. It's similar to draft modes in things like Magic the Gathering Arena, where after paying your initial cost to get in, if you get to a certain amount of wins, you actually are able to get your money back or even make a profit. And 4 is like the participation area, but when I get to 7, I think that's the area where I would have at least gotten my return or maybe started getting a little bit of a profit. So if I get at least there, surely this counts as a success. It's once again time for my PvE fight, and I go medium, feeling confident, which is immediately swiped away as I almost die. I am able to come out on top, but the speed of my build is definitely a weakness that I'm seeing.
I really don't mind this job.
I get an upgrade for my showcase, but also while shopping, I realize I've run out of time to upgrade my investment item, and so I sell it so I can get some power now. And just like that, the 5th day ends and a new challenge starts. I hope I'm ready for it.
My people.
And I am. I get through the fight unscathed. Maybe I'm worrying for nothing. You know, actually, it's
Next
been
time,
kind of
boys,
easy so far.
Less blunt.
I did a medium encounter and got 2 shot.
Yep, those repairs are going to cost you.
After that, I start looking for a game changer that can save me, and my first attempt at this is buying the schematics, which gives me a tech item from another hero whenever I level up, because maybe the answer in completing this run is with somebody who
belongs in a
isn't my
museum.
character.
But I guess you can.
I am not coping with my loss. Oh hey, I'm winning. What was I worried about? One little loss to a PvE, that didn't even matter. I didn't even lose any health over that. Everything's fine. Everything's
Got
fine.
talent.
I even win my next PvE fight. I was worried about nothing. There isn't anything that is going to stop me from winning this run. I get an upgrade for one of my shield items that makes it haste other items. Things are
You'll
just
be running
looking up.
circles around them with that.
Even better, I get boots from the same shop that will give that ability to more of my items as I spend gold. And we're here. It's time to get that 7th win.
Please, share with me your secrets.
The 7th win is mine. I was skeptical whether or not it was possible, but it's been done. It's not over
My
though.
talents were
It's time for
wasted
10.
on those gas bags back home.
I get a skill that gives me max health for each diamond tier item I have. I don't have any right now, but it's free max health as the days keep going on. In the next shop, I get an upgrade for my max health heal, and the boots upgrade their first item. I win another PvE fight, and looking at the recap afterwards, I feel like I'm doing really good. I'm able to gain about twice my max health. I'm also able to shield up to 4 times my regular max health. But I'm going to test if that's true or not because it's time for the fight of day 8.
Huge.
Land legs make you predictable.
I stand corrected. I'm not even quite sure what happened, but I died. And I lost about half my health.
It's all about
Since it's getting to the
motivation.
later
You gotta
days, I
know
can't
what
afford
you're
many more
fighting
losses
for.
like that. I'm not able to get anything of note, but I am able to beat my next PvE encounter. However, I'm at the next PvP fight with no increase to my power. So, we'll see how this goes.
Time is
I am
low,
defeated, but I'm not
but I
out.
have none left for
I will need something to change though. Whether or not I'll get it, that's what we're about to find out. In a way, I kind of found it. An item that will allow me to start the sandstorm early if I had fast enough items. But I don't. So I gotta keep looking. I get a radiant enchantment which stops one of my items from being stopped, but that's not exactly what I need right now. And I see that when I go into the next PvE fight and lose. After that defeat, I go through a midlife run, mid-run crisis, and spend more gold, and I get another turbo upgrade, and it's on the multicast pet. A little more haste does not allow me to keep pace with my next opponent,
I paint
and I
my ship
lose.
red, but I don't lose.
Even though it looks like it, losing all your life does not actually mean you've lost. You get one more chance where you're given 3 big upgrades to pick from as a turning point to try to save your run and still keep going on. But if I lose one more time after this, that's when it's over. I got more haste. The enchantment location that I picked was I picked more haste. I then get a shop where I make a big change by getting rid of my showcase and my max heal item to pick up a large item that will heal me for 10% of my max health every time it goes off. But then whenever I get healed, will give me more max health. I think in hindsight, maybe also keeping the max heal item could have worked, but I decided to use the pet since it would heal me more with its multicast. On the next shop, I get my turbo boots to trigger again on my multicast bird. This upgrade also made it diamonds here, so that's an extra 300 health from the skill I acquired earlier. Speaking of max health skills, I level up and get another skill that gives me max health for each non-weapon I have, and I have a lot of non-weapons.
Danger. This
It's then time to test a new build against a PvE fight, and it's looking good. I might actually win a fight after I lost.
seems your credit
I
score
lost pretty
is
badly.
inadequate.
Looking at the overview, I'm seeing how far behind I am stats wise compared to the builds I could be expecting to go up against. In my last shot before my next fight,
Shall I
I
give
go for a Hail Mary. I pick up an item that will freeze my adjacent items for 1 second, but then reduce their cooldown for the rest of the fight. And since I've been very focused on speed, why not, go with it till the end? And now it's time to see what happens.
You fall like a boulder. I flow like the waves.
And that is the end for Pigma this one. It's not the end for me though. I have at least 3 other characters to try and a good understanding of what I'll need to get at least 7 wins. So there's still an opportunity to get to 10. Next up is Dooley, who is more like a production type of character. After a couple of levels, they will get a core, which is more like a guaranteed item that you can build around for the rest of your run. They have tech items with charge, haste, and cooldown reduction to help get as many triggers as possible for whatever game plan they're doing. Here, I have the armored core that uses triggers of items from the left and takes a second off of its cooldown and then increases the shielding of itself and other shield items that I have to the right of it when it goes
Like
off.
my crew says at the bar, another round.
And Dooley is working out. My shielding ability at day 5 is better than it was near the end of my last run. However, at that point, I was at day 5 with only 2 wins and already at half health. By day 10, I only have 4 and I'm receiving my last chance. Never mind about me getting that last chance. Vanessa focuses on weapons and lifesteal, which I can't use, but I can use some of the aquatic items, which enhance each other the more of them that you have.
Next time, boys, less blunder, more plunder.
And at day
Like
4,
my
I got my
crew says
4th
at the
win,
bar.
and at day 7, I got my 7th win. We're looking good. To give an overview of the build, my first item increases its shielding for each aquatic item that I have. The second increases its healing each time an aquatic item activates. The third increases the crit chance of all my aquatic items so that they could possibly shield or heal for double the amount. The fourth is a regen and shield item that I got from Jubilee, and the fifth is the diving helmet, which is kind of acting like my core for this run. It turns the 2 items beside it into aquatic items and gains shield whenever aquatic items go off. The main problem I'm having with this build though is that all my shield scaling is happening for the diving helmet, which causes me to lose this fight. I have 2 other items near the end that charge for a second whenever an aquatic item goes off, but since they don't have any shield scaling, that shield that they are providing isn't holding up this far into the run. I am able to make some upgrades on the next day. I get Figurehead, which decreases the cooldown of all my aquatic items by 20%, and then I also get a enhancement for my healing item that provides shielding. So now I have a second form of shield scaling. And these changes are enough for me to get my 8th win.
Bring her about. I've got another salvo with me.
My new problem is not having enough healing or regeneration to counteract poison, and that's what causes me to lose on day 10.
How you can learn.
Day 11, I get a last chance, and I get an upgrade for my diving helmet that makes it now heal. And with this upgrade, things are looking really good again. I'm able to beat the PvE fight, and the stats are looking amazing. But let's see how it does against my next opponent.
Well, I guess who to be.
There's my 9th win, and I look at my stats again. I only need one more win, but even if I don't get it, I feel like it can be done. Depending on what you get, and no matter the character, you could go all the way. But now it's time to see if I do.
We're out to dethrone a king, not to squabble with nobodies. I may be young for a captain, but I've seen my share of storms. All cannon, no ball.
There it is. No 10th win, but still a pretty good run. And one more time, here's an overview of what my items did for the run before we move to our last character and see what they can do. Our last character focuses on poison, regen, and potions, which use ammo. Ammo items usually need a separate item or a skill to give them the ammo back to keep activating, so if I can, I will probably avoid those, and of course, the poison items. Regen is a weaker but more consistently activating healing, and I do take an early loss due to having this weaker healing, but at the end of day 5, I do get my 4th win. Now with a focus on regen, I'm able to heal a good amount and also counteract poison, which was a sore spot for me in earlier runs. On day 9, I have 2 losses, but I'm getting my 8th win, so things are looking somewhat good. Or so I thought, because even though I win, I don't get another point, and I don't actually officially get my 8th win until the 11th day. And the next day, I officially get my 9th win. Here are some stats and an overview of the build. My first item is a regen item with a weaker form of scaling. Its regen amount is tied to how much its money value is, and that could be increased by destroying items with it when I visited shops. There are only a certain amount of shops I can visit in a day, and I might not always have an item for it to eat, so it wasn't the greatest. My next item would haste the first when it or my third item slowed something, and my third item just slowed and provides small regen. My fourth item would give me max health each time it went off and would charge for a second each time a slow or haste happened, so it worked really well with the second and third. The fifth item was an engine for this run. It would provide flying to my items whenever a relic activated. It also gave me regen when items with flying would activate, and would heal me for 5 times its regen value whenever it went off. My last item would provide me small regen but would charge for a second whenever a slow or haste happened. A problem this build had was a lack of scaling. Healing for 5 times the regen value could be really good if I could increase that value throughout the round. The first item's regen scaling would have been a lot better if it was something that activated throughout the round, rather than whenever I visited a shop. But now it's time to see if, despite these flaws, this build can reach 10 wins.
In 100 years when you are...
All cannon, no ball.
Well, there it is. Once again, did not get to 10 wins, but I was able to get to 9, which I believe shows that it could be possible. With the right build, I think it's possible to reach 10 wins and do a successful pacifist run. And it felt like something that could happen with any of the characters. I don't have any of the DLC, so I can't test them, but I imagine they also would have their own ways of achieving it. And initially that's where this video was going to stop, but it took me a while to make it, and eventually a new patch dropped on April 1st, and it had some like funny haha April Fool changes, but at the bottom was an actual patch for the game that added some things. Like now I could see what the monsters that I fight in the PvE fights would give, and I could see the base stats and enhancements for items before changing them. And so I decided to go back in and try for 10 again. My first try on the new patch let me try a build I wanted to in the first run. My first item was a regular cooldown item that had double shielding initially. But then I got the shielding enhancement on it, which gave it double shielding again, so now it was like times 4. My second item was scaling for my healing and shielding, and the third item was a healing and shielding item that had multicast for each item type it had, and it got its types from all my other items. The next item was very similar, except it provided haste to different items each time that it cast. My last item was the windmill. I now had really fast item cast to actually activate it, and I was 9 wins and undefeated. But let's see if I got it to 10.
Roll.
10 wins can be done. The only problem was I didn't know how I felt about it being done this way. Because when the sandstorm activates normally, it's more like a natural occurrence that I'm just trying to survive until it takes my opponent out. But by using windmill, it now feels like I'm weaponizing it by summoning it myself earlier than it would come before.
Bring her about!
So I wanted to try to do it with another build. So I went back to Dooley and I had a way better run. The run actually went so well, I was able to find out that there's a time mechanic if you and your opponent can't die to the storm in a meaningful amount of time, and it'll just give you the victory after a certain amount of time.
I bet you don't even tip.
So this build did well, but did it do 10 wins well? Well,
Next time I'll show you what I learned.
the Bazaar can be beaten as a pacifist. Thank you for joining me, and let me know if there are any other games you would like to see me try this in.